Honey, how can you read those in all that sun?
That's why we came out here, to get all that sun. I'll be golden brown.
You'll be blind. It's right in your eyes. Better?
Yep, I guess it is.
Of course it is. You still haven't had your lunch. I'll put the eggs in the icebox.
You get that, and remember I'm out.
I remember. Hello. Yes, this is Mrs. DeBreck. No, I'm sorry, he's not here. No, actually, I'm not expecting him. He's staying in the city this weekend. Is there any kind of an emergency? I can give you the number there. Well, certainly, that'll be fine. And who shall I say called? Who? That's all right. It's no bother. Bye. Obviously, one of your ladies. She sounded very tense.
They are not my ladies. They are my patients. And why on earth did you offer to give her the number in New York? She'd just get the answering service.
Because I wanted to sound lovable and cooperative, not jealous and suspicious.
Why are you suspicious?
Because she said her name was Mrs. Amagansett.
And?
You know, there is nowhere, anywhere, a Mrs. Amagansett. There are no Amagansett.
Wasn't that a tribe? Maybe she's an Indian.
I don't know about Indians, but I can tell you this woman didn't want to give her real name.
And you conclude?
I don't conclude. I never conclude. I'm over all that.
You're over it. What have you got to be over?
Let's not, okay? Let's just not. But I do have one question. How come you won't answer the phone?
But you know how come.
Oh, I know you're trying to finish that book. But then you've been trying to finish it for 18 months. That never kept your great heart from caring about the needy and beautiful women.
Oh, my God, Nora.
I'm sorry, erase it. I never said it, I never thought it.
But you did say it.
Well, there you are. It's a flare from my old paranoia. It's like bursitis. You think you're over it, then suddenly you get these damn little twinges. Oh, come on, Oliver. I'm declaring a ceasefire.
Okay.
Honey, look out there.
Why, what's out there?
What's out there? The water's out there.
I knew that. I didn't think it had moved.
But look at it today. It's so postcard beautiful. Forget about the galleys for an hour. Go swimming.
Honey, I can't. You know I can't.
For once, you surprise me just once and do something on the spur of the moment, spontaneously.
I plan to do something spontaneous in November when the book is out.
Why do we rent a beach house? You never go in the water.
Sure I do.
Never. Well, I gotta go. If I'm late, Mother punishes me by talking about what she wants sung at her funeral.
Are you afraid of your mother?
What a silly question. I'm a grown woman. Of course I'm afraid of my mother. But she means well, and she loves you.
I know that, and I love her. I love you.
Do you? Don't answer that. You can take the afternoon and mull that over. Hey, I'm taking the car. You won't need it, will you?
No, but wouldn't it be quicker to walk over the dune to your mother's?
Much quicker, but you get your shoes full of sand. Besides, I want to go to the deli later.
Check the mailbox. Hello. Oh, hello, Alex. No, you didn't drag me from anywhere. I'm right here beside the phone. Because I didn't want to pick it up. You're right, I'm in a charming mood. Look, Alex, I know the book is due on Friday. I'm working on the galleys now. Well, what did you call about? Well, I'm sorry. I sent you 4 titles. Well, if the salesmen don't like it, let them think of a new one. Alex, there's somebody at the door. I will find out when I get to the door. All right, I'll think about it. Sure, I'll sleep on it. Alex, I have got to stop this damn doorbell. Okay. Oh.
I'm sorry. This must be the wrong house. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Yeah.
Would you mind telling me who you are?
Not at all. I'm Dr. DeBreck. Would you mind telling me who you are?
Oh, no, I couldn't possibly do that.
Well, would you care to state your business? If you're checking on the house, we're renting it through Labor Day.
Oh, no, it's not about the house. Where's your wife?
She's gone out.
Well, I don't see how that's possible. I just spoke to her 2 minutes ago on the telephone.
Oh, just a minute. You're Mrs. Amagansett.
Yeah, wasn't that a dumb name to pick? But I didn't think she'd ask my name, and all of a sudden I couldn't think of any name at all. Amaganssett's where I live, Dunesmere Road, Amagansett.
Good, we've got your address now. What's your name?
Look, I don't want to make up another name.
No, don't. I don't think you've got the hang of it.
Can I possibly use your phone to call a cab to pick me up here?
Well, of course you can. There are only 2 cabs, and at this hour they'd both be at the station. There could be quite a delay.
Well, that's all right. If I could just call, I could sit out there and wait for you because you look busy.
That's all right. I'll call. Hello, Eddie. This is Dr. DeBreck on Valley Road. Can I get a cab here? There's a lady that's going... Where are you going to?
I'll figure that out.
She'll tell you. Okay, but do what you can to hurry it up. Bye.
I'll just go sit out here and be out of your way.
If you're sure you don't mind. Look, it's hot out there. Do you want something to drink?
No, thank you. Oh, yeah, I'd take a glass of water.
Water. Just plain water?
Yeah. Oh, could you make that 2 glasses of water?
I can get you a pitcher of water.
Oh, no, 2 glasses are enough. For now. Thank you.
You've got 2 bathing suits in there.
They get wet.
True. Hello. Oh, hi, honey. What? Ye gods, you didn't use the electric blanket last night. All right, if you call 65 degrees freezing, I'll turn it off. Wait. That mysterious Mrs. Amagansett showed up. It's you, my dear, she wants to speak to. She's right out here on the deck. Hold on, I'll get her for you. Oh, madam? Ms.?
Listen, I hate to be called Ms. It doesn't sound liberated to me. It just sounds short for manuscript.
Sorry. Look, my wife is on the telephone. Why don't you talk to her?
Talk to her?
You said you wanted to talk to her.
Yeah, but not now. Not on the telephone. Where is she?
She's at her mother's, and what difference does that make?
Ask to speak to her mother.
You want to speak to her mother?
No, you want to speak to her mother.
But I don't want to speak to her mother. You know, kooky is one thing. Listen, Nora, there's a little something I'd like to clear up here. I'll call you right back. Why, what's the matter? No, I don't have to call you right back. No. It's of course, it's nothing vital. Sure, I'm sure. Okay, I'll see you then. What made you so sure that my wife wasn't with her mother?
Because she's with my husband. Are you all right? I'm sorry, that was rotten of me to tell you like that. Put your arms up in the air. Put your arms up in the air. It helps if you put them up in the air. Drink some of this. Oh, no. That was the rottenest I've ever been. I hate rotten people. It must have been all the sunlight. It made me feel lightheaded. And I didn't have anything to eat today, not even grapefruit.
Why didn't you have anything to eat?
Is that really your first question? Why didn't I have anything to eat?
Well, I can think of another question. Does your husband work in a delicatessen?
No, he doesn't. Why?
Because she's always stopping by the deli.
Is this what you're like? Is this really what you're like? Cool and creepy?
Look, my dear. You barged in here uninvited. May I suggest you barge out?
People only call you my dear when they're irritated with you.
True.
But we haven't settled anything.
Well, what would you suggest? Shall we buy them identical T-shirts with a scarlet A?
You know something? I don't like you.
Oh, well, I'll just have to bear up.
I should leave. I should get out of here, but I can't walk down that highway, and I'm not going back up there and sit on that dumb deck and fry in the sun. There's so much sun out there. Where is that damn cab? Oh, my God. Do you think I'm going to faint?
Hold it.
Here, just sit down and shut up for a minute. Put your head between your legs. Go on. Put your head between your legs. That's right. I'll get you something to eat.
I'm on a diet.
I know that. I even know which diet.
Oh, the water.
That's right.
I guess you're going to be civilized. I'm not sure it's so civilized to be civilized all the time.
There, eat something. Maybe it'll start making a little more sense.
I can't eat these eggs. They're stuffed.
There's no mayonnaise, just mustard, a little Worcestershire sauce.
Oh. These are delicious. You should have one.
That had been my plan.
Look, I'm a disgrace. I burst in here. I interrupt your work. I ruin your shirt. I eat your lunch. I'm Carrie Sack.
How do you do, Mrs. Sack? Now I'll check on your cab.
Please.
Hello, Eddie. This is Dr. DeBreck again about that cab. Well, I hope so. He said the cab is on its way, but then they always say the cab is on its way. How did you find out about my wife and your husband? Did he tell you?
Well, not exactly. It happened this one night around 11:30. I was home alone and the phone rang. And I picked it up, but I didn't get to say hello right away because I was fishing around for the cigarette lighter that I dropped. Anyway, before I got to say anything, I heard my husband's voice. He sounded different, but it was Peter all right. And what he said was, "Darling, talk to me. I just want to hear your voice." And I just knew. And I said, "Peter?" And he coughed and made some kind of joke. But I knew.
You mean he just plain dialed the wrong number?
Isn't that crazy?
Freud would say that subconsciously he wanted you to find out.
Freud, hell, that's what I said.
But he admitted it?
Yeah. Well, actually, right before the phone call, he'd been acting especially sweet, like being real husbandly and saying stuff like, "Honey, can I get you a sweater?" And, "Oh, isn't the sun too bright in your eyes?" I should have noticed. It's a sign.
Yeah. I guess you should have noticed it is a sign.
But I didn't notice anything. That's because I'm so dumb.
No.
I've always been dumb. You know, I'm the only person in this century that learned the facts of life from a pamphlet.
Pamphlet?
Yeah. And the worst part is my grandmother gave it to me. Not even my mother. My grandmother, for God's sake. The pamphlet was called Marjorie May's 12th birthday. You know, you think I would have figured something out when I read Anna Karenina, but I didn't. So I went and I sat on the cellar steps and I read this stupid pamphlet, and it had all these diagrams in it with arrows showing which way the spermatozoa went. And I cried because it was so different from Anna Karenina.
Tolstoy would be cheered to know that.
Don't you see how idiotic this whole thing really is? I don't know why I'm on this goddamn diet. The only reason that Peter married me was because I was so fat.
Don't be ridiculous. Nobody ever married anybody because they were fat.
But that is why he married me. You see, he was a widower and he had this little girl and I helped him take care of her. And I seemed so sensible and substantial. And was I substantial? I weighed 180 pounds. Do you believe that? If you say you believe it, I'll kill you.
I don't believe it. Here, have some coffee.
Well, it wasn't just that I was fat. I think it was because I was so completely different from his first wife.
Oh, and what was she like?
Well, apparently she was so charming it was practically a disease. I mean, she could get plumbers to come in on Sunday.
Well, that's quite a recommendation.
Yeah, but there was one little problem. One tiny fly in the lovely ointment. It seems that every month she had a new lover. Like she'd turn one in and take another one out like library books. I got really worried every time she left the house.
I think I need a drink. Oh, hell, I don't have any liquor.
How come you don't have any liquor in this big jazzy place?
Because my wife doesn't drink and I didn't plan to drink this weekend. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Well, that's interesting. She doesn't smoke either.
Not anymore. How'd you know that?
Because there aren't any ashtrays. She doesn't drink and she doesn't smoke. What does she do? I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Look, I'm going to go. It's not that I'm beginning to get on your nerves. I'm on your nerves. Goodbye. Thank you very much for the eggs. The Worcestershire sauce is a very good idea.
You're gonna go? Fine. Dandy. But where are you gonna go to?
Oh, I'll just walk down the road until I find something.
It's not a road, it's the Montauk Highway, and you won't find anything. You'll just get hit by a car, and then they'll take you to the nearest doctor, and goddammit, I am the nearest doctor.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you're a doctor. What kind of doctor are you?
I'm a marriage counselor.
You're a marriage counselor?
I would agree that under the circumstances, it's pretty ridiculous.
Well, do you work? I mean, does it work, the process? Should I come to see you?
No! Let me repeat, no!
Well, that's not very professional. You don't have to like your patients, do you?
No, I don't have to like my patients, nor do I have to treat every person that tumbles into my lap.
How did you get to be a marriage counselor? How does anybody get to be? They don't have schools for that, do they?
Look, I am a psychiatrist. I treat all kinds of people.
Yeah, well, if you're a psychiatrist, you should call yourself a psychiatrist. It sounds more dignified.
Well, lately I'm better known as a marriage counselor, and I don't think there's anything the least bit undignified about it.
Better known? How'd you get to be better known?
Well, actually, since my first book came out.
Oh, you wrote a book. What book?
It was called Settled Out of Court.
Settled Out of Court. I read that. I got it from the Literary Guild. You know, if you don't send those little cards back right away, you get crazy.
You certainly do.
Oh, I didn't mean your book was crazy. It was sort of interesting.
Why do you jump up like that?
I keep thinking I lost my lighter. You know, the only part of your book that I can remember now is this one woman who complained because every time her husband wanted to make love to her, he'd come to bed with a container of strawberry yogurt. Why did he do that?
Well, he thought it gave him immediate energy.
Is that true? Is that scientific?
That's hardly the point. The point is it's not very romantic.
Do you make these things up?
No!
You must make the people up.
What do you mean?
We use names. You couldn't use the people's real names, so they'd sue you. Ooh, I'd hate to be your patient. I don't want to be in a book. I'm probably going to be in your next book. Slightly disguised, yes, Sally, bursting in like a raving maniac. Definitely flabby from her recent weight loss. Her body, a question mark expressing fear, doubt, and pain.
Now I absolutely have to have a drink. So, if you would just shut up for 1 minute, I'd be endlessly in your debt.
What, are you going to order something?
Just 1 minute, please. Go to the bathroom. Read a book. Hello, Leo. This is Oliver upstairs. Can I come down and borrow some bourbon? Don't be silly. I can come down. Oh, okay, bless you. I just want a little bit. Old Taylor, old granddad, old anybody. Okay. Bye. Oh, it's Leo, lives downstairs.
Do you know what's sad about your book?
Everything, I gather?
No, I mean sad, wistful. Like, most of the people who come to see you are women. Does that mean women are more helpless, more desperate?
No, they're just more practical. When the dishwasher breaks, the woman calls the plumber. Man says, I'll look into it. 5 days later, he looks into it with a putty knife. And the next thing you know, you need a whole new unit. Women are quicker to seek professional help.
Do these women who come to see you have sexual problems?
Sometimes.
Do you, console them?
What you really mean is, do I sleep with them?
I didn't mean that.
Yes, you did. And no, I don't. I don't think bartenders should drink.
I don't get it. I get it. You think it would be unsuitable.
And unethical, and as a matter of fact, illegal.
Can I ask you one last question?
No.
Well, come on. This is important. It's my whole life that's breaking down. Peter won't talk to me. Peter and I never talk about important things. Or the thing is, I talk. and he just smiles, and he takes off his glasses, and he listens. Why does he have to take off his glasses to listen? And then he kind of chews on the earpiece, and he can actually talk this way. Now, why does he do that? There must be some deep psychological reason.
Or did he just recently stop smoking?
As a matter of fact, he did. You know, that's very perceptive. I should take you more seriously.
I don't want your cap to come. I think you should stay here for the whole summer. I think we should grow old together.
Oh, dear.
I'm serious. This is a valuable experience. I've never had a nervous breakdown before. I felt out of things.
Oh, listen, your wife called before. What'd she call about?
That's right. What'd you want? The electric blanket. She wanted me to turn it off.
How do you stand an electric blanket in this weather?
I don't have to stand it. It's in her room.
In her room? I guess you two don't talk about important things either.
Now look.
You look. You're in an impossible situation. Your wife's playing around, she sleeps in her own room, and you're a marriage counselor. I think I could help you.
You can help me?
Well, yeah, you couldn't go see another marriage counselor, could you? Look at you, you're a nervous wreck. Look at the way you're twirling that paper clip around in your fingers. You've probably got hundreds of mangled paper clips all over this house. How old are you? 43, 44?
I'm 36.
That's stress. Makes you look older.
I assure you, Mrs. Sachs, I was a perfect 36 until you swooped in on me.
Oh, come on, call me Carrie. It makes more sense now that we're getting to know each other.
We are not. We are absolutely, by God, not.
But you need help.
Oh, I do. I sure as hell do. Leo! Leo! Where are you? Leo!
Halloween, I knew you wanted a drink. I didn't think you were going into withdrawal.
Leo, don't talk. I'm a good tenant. You know I'm a good tenant. I water your damn plants. I don't leave pillows out on the deck.
You're hysterical.
I am, and that's why you've got to do something for me. You've got to drive this woman to the station or wherever it is she wants to go. And I'll make it up to you in little ways. I'll change the shelf paper. I'll clean the oven.
Carrie, honey! It's you! Where's the rest of you? And the half that's left is terrific.
Oh, Leo, I haven't seen you for 2 summers.
I was touring. Let me try out this new waistline. Size 6. It's a miracle. You went to Lourdes.
Oh, Leo. Leo, I drank all this water and I ate about 1 million eggs.
It was worth it.
You know, the sign outside said Simpson, and he's been yelling, Leo, Leo, my landlord, but I never put it together. This is your house.
Sure.
How does an actor afford this fancy
I
house?
can't. That's why I rent it in the summer.
For a lot of money.
This is your 3rd summer. If you could find a cheaper place, it was just as gorgeous to take. And can I offer you some of our bourbon?
No thanks, Leo.
So what are you doing here with Oliver?
We're not going to discuss that, are we?
Are you looking at me? No, never.
No.
No, Leo. Leo, I saw the Romeo and Juliet in the park. You were very good as Benvolio.
Don't lie. In 400 years, nobody has been good as Benvolio.
Well, you were definitely the loudest one.
That helps.
Yeah, in Central Park with airplanes zooming over, it's very important.
Oh, yeah, I only agreed to take that part because they let me understudy Paul Severn. He was playing the Q show. I figured I'd probably get a chance to play the part because Paul has this reputation of being sick a lot.
Well, did he get sick?
Yeah, he got ptomaine poisoning. He ate a half a shrimp salad sandwich. Was spoiled.
How were you?
I ate the other half.
Look, I hate to spoil this little reunion, but Leo, would you please drive your friend Mrs. Sachs to wherever it is she wants to
I
go?
can't. My car's in the... Oh, Mrs. Sachs, you married Carrie. I didn't know.
Well, didn't you see my picture in the Times? Miss Waters to wed?
Who is he? What does he do? Who is he? What does he do?
His name's Peter Sachs. Actually, he doesn't do anything. He's rich for a living.
Good for him.
Well, he'd hate if he heard me say that. He's sort of an art dealer.
Well, how come I wasn't invited to the wedding?
Well, I did invite you. I called your place and I spoke to that model you were living with, Melinda. She said you're at the Pittsburgh Playhouse. How is Melinda?
She went to Cannes to the film festival last year. She never came back. I got left with a minor bird in a closet full of very expensive dresses.
They're watered.
Nice and moist.
Shouldn't you go check on that electric blanket?
Oh, my Lord, yes.
Leo, quick, what's his wife like?
What is going on here?
I can't tell you. I'm sworn to
This
silence.
is a man I trusted. This is my very own shrink. This is a man who helped me.
You mean you were his patient?
In his office, Karen, he seems so righteous. is sitting there under that painting of Saint Sebastian. All those arrows. Now, just what is the story here?
Leo, will you please get that and say I'm out?
No, you get it and say you're out.
Well, I'll get it.
Leo, please.
Mafia, Don Carlino speaking. Yeah, it's Leo. I'm up here bringing Oliver some bourbon. I would presume he wanted to drink it. Just a minute, It's Nora. She's on her way home. She's at the deli. She wants to know if you want anything.
Nothing, just peace and quiet.
Just English muffins.
I don't want English muffins!
I do.
You mean she's coming? She'll be here?
Come on, Carrie. I'm going to take you out of all this. I'm going to whip us up a steak tartare.
Oh, Leo, I don't think I can have that on my diet.
Sure you can. It's perfect for a diet. No. I can't take it down there today.
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, the place is a mess today.
Today, every day.
I was sorting my laundry, everything dirty since Memorial Day. Some little piles over there. Well, just give me 3 minutes. I'll shovel that stuff up and throw it in the bath. Right.
Look, I could take my proofs and go down.
Going.
Leo said 3 minutes.
Dr. DeBreck, I'm going to say something that'll surprise you.
Surprise me, I don't think so. As far as you're concerned, I've kind of leveled off.
I'm not going downstairs with Leo. I'm going to stay here and meet your wife.
The hell you are! No, ma'am, no way.
Well, a minute ago you were saying women were so practical. I thought you admired that quality. Now I'm being absolutely practical and you seem fussed.
Fussed, I am not fussed.
Well, you're grinding your teeth. You know, you shouldn't do that. You could ruin your bike. That happened to a friend of mine. He had to go see a dentist for months. And at night he had to sleep with this weird thing in his mouth. It was terrible. Well?
I think I've forgotten the subject of this conversation.
No, you haven't. Your wife is coming here and I'm going to see her. I will see her.
Mrs. Sachs, it's clear that for all eternity I can't stop you from talking to my wife, but you'll do it on your time and her time, not my time.
You don't have to be here. You can go downstairs and talk to Leo.
I could recommend a good therapist, but I doubt if it would help. Now, you just run right along. You've got the number here. Call her up, give her your correct name, and make an appointment.
Don't put your hand on me. You're impossible. You have the blood temperature of a fish. Make an appointment. What do you think? I'm looking for a job? We're talking about your wife. You should be heartbroken, and you're just faintly irritated like your zipper got stuck.
Have you finished?
No, I haven't even started. Mrs. DeBreck wouldn't make an appointment with me.
What makes you so sure of that?
Well, if she has even a shred of decency, she'd be too guilty to see me. And I have to assume that she's a decent person, or else someone as nice as Peter wouldn't like her. Like her. He loves her. He told me he loves her. He really shouldn't have told me that.
Look, I'm really sorry, really, and I ask you to believe that I am not precisely the cold haddock that I appear to be. After a while, you just find ways of protecting yourself. Let's just say my heart cried wolf too often.
But you do want her back.
She hasn't gone anywhere.
Oh, well, that's a silly statement. Do they have to fly to Bermuda to make it real for you? You just want this thing to blow over. I want it to be over, don't you?
Yes, all right, yes. But what could you possibly say to her that I couldn't say?
I can explain to her the difference between her situation and my situation. Peter wouldn't tell her he's too loyal. Isn't that crazy? I still think of Peter as loyal.
And what is this difference?
Well, you just met me. But can't you tell? I mean, my problem, first, last, and always, is that I'm a beautiful person. Everybody says so. Carrie is a beautiful person.
And what does that mean?
Well, first it means that I'm not beautiful. And the rest means that I'm quick and reliable and I have a good disposition. Exactly the qualities you'd look for if you were buying a Labrador Retriever.
Oh, come on now.
Well, it's true.
I hope you hear yourself. You sound like poor, pitiful Pearl.
I'm just trying to sound realistic. You see, Peter's the only man that's ever been in my life. And if he hadn't come along, I would have had to go on being what I always was. An air firm.
A what?
An air firm.
What's an air fern?
It's a fern, a plant. Except it doesn't have any roots, and you don't have to water it. It lives on air. Somebody gave me one once, and I put it in this Lennox teacup. And I never liked it. It was this awful fake colored green, like it really looked artificial. And then one day, I noticed it turned brown. That's because it was dead. That was the only way I knew it had been alive. You know, there are people like that.
You know, there's something not entirely unappealing about you, Carrie. I think your grief is real. I wish I could help you.
Then leave me alone with your wife.
What could you hope to accomplish?
I can make it clear to her that she can replace Peter, but I can't, so she's got to let him go. I just had an idea.
Don't tell me. Please don't tell me.
Well, wait. Maybe now that I'm thin, Leo would have an affair with me. That would make Peter think twice.
I wouldn't advise it.
Well, why not if I can swing it?
Because this fighting fire with fire is a very dangerous business. If things don't exactly mesh, you just double your problem.
You're talking about two wrongs don't make a right.
I'm talking about two fires. When I was in the Boy Scouts about 1,000,000 years ago, a fire broke out in the dry grass behind the cabins. It was really kind of scary. And our counselor, who was something of a jerk anyway, got the bright idea of digging a trench and setting another fire 100 yards away. Except he didn't set the second fire in the right place, so before we knew it, we had two fires that passed each other.
Well, what do fires have to do with people?
Not a hell of a lot. I was just trying to make an analogy.
Well, don't get mad. I'm really trying to understand this.
All I'm suggesting is that your little scheme might backfire. Your husband might feel relieved and justified.
Not if I set the fires in the right place, if they really mesh.
Even if they mesh, you're still playing with fire.
Thing is, you got to get it closer. Like if you and I had an affair, that would be closer.
Yes.
You're actually considering that. No, the answer is no. I'm all tied up for the next couple of years.
The irony of it doesn't appeal to you? I know I don't appeal to you.
Look, whenever you meet my wife, revert to your original plan. Appeal to her sense of fair play. Actually, Nora does have a sense of fair play, more or less. Anyway, you were going to remind her of her many options and your more limited ones. Damn it!
I don't know.
Hello? Mrs. Adams?
Oh, Mrs. Adams. Oh, sure, of course I remember. Now, wait. You've got to stop crying or I can't hear you. No, I don't think you're dying. What did you take? Well, look at the bottle. It says on the bottle.
Why did you throw it away?
Like a little yellow aspirin, that's a Valium. How many did you take? 3. That's 15 milligrams. You're not dying, you're just relaxing.
Why do you think you need to go to the hospital?
No, you just stay right where you are. I'm going to take this call in another room. Don't go away. I've got to...
Yeah, I'll hang it up when you get in there. Oliver, get the door. We have the boat man's full. Hello, Mrs. Direct. Come right in. Here, let me help you with one of those.
Well, aren't you the soul of hospitality? Who are you? Where's my husband?
Oh, he's in the bedroom. He's on the phone. He knows I'm going to talk to you. We agreed to that.
Does any part of this agreement include telling me who you are? Oh, of course, how slow-witted I am. You are Mrs. Amagansett.
Oh, but you never believed that for a minute. I could tell by the way you underlined the word who. You said who? I'm Carrie Sachs.
You're Peter's wife?
And you're Peter's girlfriend. This bag feels cold. I'm going to put it in the kitchen. Things could melt in here. They say you can refreeze things now, but I certainly wouldn't. Let me get that other bag for you, too. I notice you have skim milk in there. I notice things like that because I'm always on a diet.
Mrs. Saxon, won't you please sit down and let me explain that silly phone call Peter made?
Oh, no, thank you. I've been sitting all day.
Look, I don't know exactly what to say, but please put the groceries down. And please sit down.
I'd rather stand...
Please sit down.
You see...
Sit! Look, Mrs. Sachs, you must believe me. The whole thing between Peter and me was nothing. One day my car broke down in front of the fish market, so I walked over to the cab stand. Naturally, there were no cabs.
Oh, there never. It's a disgrace, the cab situation.
So a car pulls up, and this man says, I'm not a taxi, I'm Peter Sachs, but if you're going anywhere down the Montauk, I'd be happy to drop you. So I got in the car.
That messy car. Oh, you know, Peter is so ambivalent about being rich that because it's a Mercedes, he never gets it washed. And that front seat with all the sneakers all over it, I'd rather have a clean Chevy.
Anyway, he said he was suddenly starving, and so was I, so we had lunch. Well, we had lunch several times, and look, this is too important to lie about. One day we were walking back to the car, and I guess he wanted to know what time it was. Anyway, he reached down and he picked up my wrist to look at my watch. He wasn't wearing one, and that's all it was. He was holding my wrist, and we didn't say anything, but I knew what was going to happen, and I'm so very, very sorry.
You know, that bag's starting to make a puddle.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to put a magazine underneath here because you could get a white ring on this tabletop. You can get it out with lemon oil, but sometimes it takes 2 applications.
Look, what I'm trying to tell you is I think I'm in love with Peter. I am in love with him. Now what are you doing?
Well, I wanted to see if there was a new copy of Time I put under there. It'll get damp. Bruce Springsteen, October 1975. You know, I have this friend who saves all these really old copies of Time and Newsweek, like about 20 years old, and he keeps them in the bathroom. Then when he can't sleep at night, he gets up and he reads about the Berlin airlift or the Suez crisis. And he says it's very relaxing at 4:30 in the morning because you see it's all over now.
I don't get this. You seem more concerned about my defrosting vegetables than you do about your husband.
Is that the way it seems? Well, it's not that way at all, although I do worry about things that drip. But, actually, I'm just using all this as a delaying tactic because I'm so embarrassed.
I don't understand. Why are you embarrassed?
Well, you see, I know all that. Peter told me. Well, not about the wristwatch, but everything else. And, that's only half the story, and I can feel in my bones that you don't have a clue about the other half.
What other half? What are you talking about?
That's what I figured you don't know. And I don't want to be the one that has to tell you, though under the circumstances, I see no reason why we should be embarrassed.
Can I try to pin this down? Who is we?
Me and Oliver.
You and Oliver what?
The simple answer to that is yes, we are.
You and Oliver?
You're thinking the worst. You're right.
Is that so? I think I will take these into the kitchen.
You don't ask any questions, like where did we meet, how did it happen?
I have every confidence you're about to tell me.
You're so calm. I bet you never had to eat a rye crisp in your life.
What has that got to do with anything?
A lot. Everything.
All right, where did you meet?
In his office. I was a patient.
Oh, really? Now, why did I get the definite impression when I phoned Oliver that he had never laid eyes on you before?
Oh, yes, I heard him saying that. Isn't it terrible the way love makes you so deceitful? But I was a patient, all right. I'll never forget how I suffered in that office, sitting under that weird painting of St. Sebastian.
All right, you were a patient.
Of course, it started out on a completely professional, impersonal basis.
Oh, you mean he didn't throw you to the carpet during your first appointment?
I suppose I deserve the sarcasm. I guess you want to know how it developed.
You mean this thing has a plot?
Plot, you know, that's sort of funny.
I didn't think so, but then I frequently miss things.
Well, of course it's not funny. It's a disgrace. I just thought of something terrible.
Something else terrible?
Do you think Peter doesn't wear a wristwatch so he can pick up girls?
I am hardly a girl, and I don't think I qualify as a pickup. Peter doesn't wear a watch because Peter's a relaxed person. He doesn't have to know every 5 minutes what time is it. Oliver, on the other hand, always wears his watch.
Always?
Well, except for when he goes to bed. Otherwise, he never takes his...
I'm speechless.
I'd like to think so. You're really quite a little package, aren't you?
Well, actually, we have a lot in common. You're the other woman and I'm the other woman. For me, it's progress.
Nora, you're back.
Is she all right, the woman on the telephone?
Oliver, you have a way of bursting into the room just as the conversation's getting interesting.
I thought I made it clear that you were going to talk to my wife at some other time in some other place.
Oh, is it your feeling a different setting would improve her story?
Well, I had to let her in. She had all these groceries and it's her house.
My house. Oh, dear, this sounds quaint. My husband.
Something's gone off the track here. You've lost me.
So I gather.
All right, would one of you like to read me the minutes of the last meeting?
Well, actually,
No,
she
let
didn't-
me. Mrs. Sachs seems to have trouble with her sentences. She tends to lose interest after she gets to the verb. In any case, she would like me to believe that after a period of being your patient, she has graduated to being your mistress.
Carrie!
2 fires.
But you didn't believe her. You don't believe her.
Of course not.
You would have believed me on the telephone. It's just that in real life I don't make a good impression. I look like a story in the news about unwed mothers.
Mrs. Sachs, I am not clairvoyant, and in 10 minutes I don't pretend to have any clear impression of you.
More time wouldn't help.
But I do, of course, know my husband, and I know him to be incapable of what you're suggesting. It's simply not in him.
Why, he's too ethical?
With a patient, of course, he's too ethical. With anyone else, he's too
what?
repressed, too rigid, and I would think too uninterested.
Oliver, I'm surprised.
Now, wait just a minute. Whatever made you say that? You've known all along I've had affairs from time to time.
No, I did not know.
Oh, come on now. Hardly a week goes by that we don't have a little 2-minute editorial about my many meaningful relationships. Why, just this
I
morning...
know what I said, but I never believed it.
Then why? Why did you say it?
Because you expected me to.
I expected you to!
Look, I'm gonna go. Leo's making me that steak tartare and it'll get cold. I mean, it'll get warm. So I'm gonna go. Okay, bye.
Carrie, wait. Don't be flustered. Everything's going to be all right. I told you it would be very difficult for my wife to accept. But your instinct to tell her the truth was obviously the right one.
You think?
I do. I was trying to be protective. I was merely being dishonest. This little arrangement of ours was in trouble long before you came into the picture. So, when am I going to see you again?
Later, I guess?
You guess? But it's out in the open. There's no need to hide it anymore. There's no need to be furtive, is there? Is there?
No.
So, after you've seen Leo and had your steak, you come on back up here or call.
Are you sure it's all right?
Absolutely. See you later, baby.
See you later, baby? That may be harder to believe than anything. Do I take it you are actually sleeping with that waif?
What shocks you the most, that she's a waif or that I'm sleeping with her?
Just tell me what's going on.
But you know.
I don't know anything. I heard what she said and what you said, and it all sounds extremely far-fetched.
For one so repressed as I. And whatever made you say that? And what in God's name did you mean when you said that I expected you to carry on about my non-existent love affairs? What the hell sense could that make?
Well, you've heard of role-playing. Surely I picked up the term from you. Well, my role has always been to assure you that you're desirable. That's why I go on about your being hounded by women and that I'm sick with jealousy.
No, wait. You're giving me an awful lot to digest in one swallow. You're saying that I want to think that I am hounded by women?
That's right.
And why do I want to think that? You've obviously given this a lot of thought. Maybe you'd like to explain.
How do I know? Maybe it all goes back to when you wanted to be a big blonde jock and you were a skinny little bookworm with such a bad overbite that all the kids called you Bunny.
Now that's a giant stride down memory lane. I'd forgotten that I told you that.
Well, obviously you did.
And it was a mistake because it's totally irrelevant. My overbite was completely corrected by an excellent orthodontist by the time I was 16. My bite is perfect. Perhaps it's my bark.
Oh, shut up.
You see what we have here? What we have here is a classic case of mistaken identity. Here you were loyally trying to build up my confidence, whereas I all along thought that your recriminations were just part of a smokescreen to cover up your own affair with Peter Sachs.
You knew about him?
Well, I didn't know his name, but I have learned that by the time my snoring gets so bad that you've got to move into the guest room, it means something.
If you knew about him, why the hell didn't you say something? Why didn't you do something?
Like what?
Like anything, like put your foot down, belt me, walk out.
But I knew when I married you that you were the girl that had to dance with everybody.
Oh, bravo. No coward would applaud. You are so civilized. You're so damn civilized, you're practically inert.
You know, that's the second time somebody said that to me today.
Why did you marry me? I mean, really and truly, why?
Because your daddy was rich and you were good looking.
You married me because it was the thing to do. Lots of people wanted to marry me in 1973. It just happened to be my year. Two of your friends proposed, so you proposed.
Oh, but I did not propose. That was my whole attraction. I was the one that did not come rolling to your feet like a croquet ball. That was what was so special about me.
Are you saying you weren't in love with me?
Oh, I was in love with you. I was sick in love with you. But you did the proposing. Don't you remember? It was very romantic. We were at a party in Georgetown. It was very late. Somebody put on Guy Lombardo playing It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and everybody that wasn't too stoned was dancing. And then you discovered that I couldn't dance, so you decided to teach me.
Oh, you could dance before that.
No, I couldn't. You taught me that night. And I bore you off in triumph in my old PW, which broke down on 19th Street. So we got out and started looking for a cab. All of a sudden it started to rain. It was a deluge, so we ran up the steps of the deserted brownstone. Anyway, there weren't any lights, and we sat on an old window box. And I was becoming ardent, or as ardent as I could get, with you in your mink coat and me in my ski jacket. And then out of the blue, well, out of the rain, you said, you're much too uptight to ask me to live with you, so why don't we get married?
I guess I did.
You know you did.
I don't remember that you put up much of a struggle.
No, I was very quick to pop the answer.
This is shabby of you, really shabby. You want to know if it still hurts? Well, it does, damn it.
What does?
The memory of that night when I thought you needed me?
I needed you.
That's what I thought, but you didn't. You don't. When do you listen to me? When do you even look at me?
Well, when are you here?
Oh, I'm guilty. Guilty. And you don't even know the reason why. You think because you gave me your love and your attention 7 years ago, that's going to hold me indefinitely?
Look, Nora, you want to be soul-searching and gothic. I just want to get a little work done.
Damn it, even now you're going to hide behind that book. Don't you understand that's the problem with you? You're so busy analyzing emotions and writing about them, you don't have them anymore. You don't feel anything for anybody. You're dead.
Bullshit!
Now you're going to tell me you feel something for her.
For who?
For who? That's perfect. That's absolutely... Have you forgotten her name, or have you already forgotten her existence?
Oh, God, Mrs. Sachs!
Oh, God, Mrs. Sachs. Mrs. Sachs? Is it possible you're not even on a first-name basis?
All right, you're asking me a direct question. I'll give you an honest answer.
Please do.
I'm thinking about it. And the truth is, yes, I do feel something for Carrie.
Well, you admit it. I'm surprised.
You're not as surprised as I am. And now that we're playing truth or consequences,
Maybe you'd like to tell me how you feel about Peter Sachs?
I don't know. Maybe I'd like to find out.
Well, find out. Be my guest.
Oh, I have your permission. That's great. Then you have your little teenager in her orthopedic sneakers. Okay, I'll go.
What are you doing?
I'm clearing out. I'm leaving.
You're what?
I'm going to go and leave the field open for you and your nymphette.
Are you going for the evening, for the night, for the week?
I'm going for whatever damn well suits me. Now, you have a few minutes here all alone. I suggest you get down to that book of yours. It may not be too late to add another chapter. You sure got a hell of a lot of new material.
You keep in touch here?
Carrie's starting to get nervous. She thinks she ought to go home now. You want to see her before she goes?
Yes, indeed. Certainly, by all means.
What are you doing, Oliver?
You can see what I'm doing.
Pressing newspapers. You can see what a slob I am. I always throw mine away when they...
I'm not pressing newspapers. I'm drying the galleys of my book. They got wet.
Listen, my car is back now, so when Carrie's ready, I'm going to drive her home.
Oh.
You have her ring this bell. She wants me. I'll be right on my deck, so I'll hear her.
Is it all right?
My darling, you came back. Owe me a little faith. I didn't trust you. I thought you'd never come.
Oh, you are furious, aren't you?
You're damn right I am. And you went home and got all dressed up. What for?
No, I spilled port wine on my shirt. You wouldn't believe how much wine there is in one glass. Look at this. Leo said I look like Julius Caesar after the assassination. Oh, he let me borrow one of Melinda's dresses. I guess you and your wife had a quarrel. I heard her drive away.
What we had was worse than a quarrel. Quarrel is saying something in anger that you don't really mean. Nora meant what she said. We opened a door that always did have a rusty hinge. Maybe I'll never get it shut again.
Oh, of course you will. I'm so sorry. It was terrible of me. All of a sudden I heard myself telling her this wild tale. I couldn't believe I was doing it.
You couldn't believe it.
Well, just when she walked in, she was so great looking and so in charge. I felt abandoned, like I was out on this little ledge all by myself, and I didn't think. I just jumped.
Pulling me with you.
That was the worst part. But why'd you go along with it?
Because. I don't know. Maybe we all have little ledges, and I just discovered mine.
Well, there's no reason to be upset, because I'm going to go home and tell Peter I made up the whole thing.
That you will absolutely not do.
Why shouldn't I tell him I made it up?
Because if you tug at just one thread of this idiotic web you've woven, the whole thing will unravel and we'll both look like fools.
Is that so terrible?
I happen to think so, yes. Besides which, you will have just stirred up a mess and accomplished nothing. I guess you still want it back.
Of course I do.
Then you will go home and admit everything.
Now, wait a minute. You're saying that I should go home and tell Peter I had an affair with my marriage counselor? Isn't that awfully tacky?
It's very, very tacky, but you should have thought of that sooner.
He'll be very upset.
I would imagine he married you. He must care about you.
Yeah, I suppose so, but that's not what I mean. This is just the worst time to be bothering him about things. His Jackson Pollock retrospective opens on Monday.
You're telling me that Jackson Pollock is more important to your husband than you are?
Well, you're putting it that way. Don't you like Jackson Pollock? Some people don't.
Carrie, how old are you?
23.
It's time you knew who you were. You don't have to go on being the poor little match girl.
I'm not. That's an awful thing to say.
But you are, and it's time to change that a little. Are you going to listen to me?
I'm listening.
All right. Well, you don't have to tell Peter anything. Nora will have called him.
Oh, no.
Now stop that. Stop it right now. You're going to go home and appear composed. Don't deny anything. Don't be apologetic. Have you got a smile that doesn't look worried?
Well, I never thought about it. I guess so.
Well, think about something surprising and wonderful. It doesn't have to be true. Think, I'm famous. My name turned up in the crossword puzzle today. There you are. You see? You look more grown up already. Now, your attitude is simple. These things happen. Say it.
These things happen?
There's no question mark at the end of that. This is an exchange between adults. You're reminding him of something he already knows. You're calm, cavalier even.
Peter, these things happen.
Right.
They're like thunderstorms in April. Sudden and unexpected, but they're not dangerous and they're over before you know it.
Good, you got it.
These storms
I
can
said you
come
got
up
it. I promise you he'll be impressed. Even if the whole truth comes out, he'll have to concede you're far more complicated than he ever suspected.
Well, that's definitely existential. I'm becoming complicated in order to seem complicated.
I'll have to work on that for a while, but I think you've got it now. Well, good luck, Carrie.
Goodbye, Oliver, and thank you. You've been so sterling.
Bye. And don't grow up too much, okay? Just a little bit.
Bye. Oliver, I just thought of something. Where's your office?
It's on Park Avenue. Why?
But where on Park Avenue? What's it near?
It's near 61st Street. Why? Are you going to come and see me?
Oh, of course not, but I want to know what it's near. What restaurants? What hotels?
I don't understand.
Well, I want to know where we went.
Where we went? We didn't go anywhere.
Well, I know that, silly, but Peter's going to ask me where, and he'll know we didn't do it in your office. That never happens in offices, does it?
Well, there are exceptions that have a way of getting into the newspapers, but in general it doesn't happen in offices.
So, where'd we go? To a motel?
In Manhattan?
Oh, yeah. It'd be a long cab ride to find a real motel. But it'd be a lot less embarrassing than walking through a hotel lobby.
Of course, you don't have to walk hand in hand through a hotel lobby.
Right. You get the key and go up to the room, and I come up 10 minutes later in a different elevator. But look, we skipped lunch.
That's okay. Some things are more important.
Now, don't joke. I mean, I want to have concrete details so I can make this thing sound plausible. I mean, how do you think I got your wife to believe I was your patient? I told her I sat in your office under that painting of St. Sebastian.
How'd you know about that?
Leo told me.
That boy lives dangerously.
Oh, he didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know. But let's get back to the subject. Now, we must have had lunch several times before.
Before we hit the sack? Maybe not. Maybe we were blind with passion. Food didn't matter. Okay, I'll tell you what we did. There's a luggage store around the corner. We go there, we buy a suitcase, we throw in a couple of phone books, and then we go to a really expensive hotel like the St. Regis, and I say to the room clerk, have you got a reservation for Professor and Mrs. Roscoe Summers? And while he's checking, you say out loud, Roscoe, have you checked these rates? This looks very expensive to me. Only a wife would say a dumb thing like that in a hotel lobby. So, pretty soon the clerk will come back, and he'll say, we can't find a reservation, but we do have a room, Professor.
Oliver, that's great. But I really and truly would have to have lunch first.
Okay.
Just tell me what restaurants are near your office.
I don't go out to eat. I have a tab and a tuna salad sandwich set up from the deli.
Now, you're just trying to make trouble. Thanks.
Well, there is one I go to from time to time. It's called The Place.
The place?
Le Place, it's French.
It's bad French.
Bad food, too.
All right, well, never mind the food. Do they have tables there or booths?
There's some tables in the front, but mostly it's booths.
Well, good. That's why we go there. We want privacy.
It's not that private. I say we go to a hotel.
Now, would you please take this seriously? I mean, I have to go home and tell Peter, and I want to have my story straight. Now, there's still one big gap that bothers me.
What's that?
Well, I can see how we'd have lunch the second time, but the first time would be really peculiar for a doctor to do such a thing. Like if I'm your patient, my hour's up, and you say, On your way out, stop and see Miss Jones, and she'll make your next appointment. By the way, would you like to have lunch on Tuesday? I mean, that would never happen. It's impossible.
Not that way, certainly.
Oliver, I've got it. It's simple as pie. I'm inspired.
Okay, tell me.
When's your lunch break?
1 to 2.
All right, let's say I have the appointment right before lunch.
12 to
12
1.
to 1, right. Okay, and I'm on a diet. I'm always on a diet. And I get dizzy and feel faint like I did today, and you're concerned about me, so you take me out to lunch.
Why don't I send down for a sandwich from the deli?
It's a Jewish holiday. The delicatessen's closed.
It's not a Jewish delicatessen.
Are you trying to get out of this?
Never!
Well, stop creating problems. Now, the first lunch was entirely innocent.
But the second lunch.
What are you doing with your eyebrows?
I'm trying to leer.
Well, don't. It looks dumb. At the second lunch, you gradually overcome my objections. Listen, how do you do that?
I tell you about my loneliness, my needs, my feeling that I can't relate to anybody.
I must tell you, that sounds awfully boring to me.
Look, dummy, it's not a panel discussion. You don't have to have a topic. You can talk about anything.
Like what?
You're really hopeless. All right, look. This will be the booth. Okay, this is the bench, that's the table. You sit there. Good, now slide over, indicating I should sit next to you. Don't lunge. Just slide over, the least No, I think I'd rather sit over here.
Wouldn't you sit here?
I want to be able to look at you. Where are you going?
I'm nervous. I gotta have a cigarette. I'm back.
I see.
I don't know where my lighter is. Do you have any matches?
I have your lighter.
Oh, isn't it crazy how I keep losing it?
I'll light it.
I can light it.
I know you can light it, but you're going to let me light it for you.
Oh.
I wish I could get you to stop smoking.
Why?
Because it's bad for you. I don't want to lose you.
Is that in the script, or are you really talking to me?
50-50, look. Stop making remarks about the script or you'll never learn anything. You'll never get anywhere.
You're right. I should stay in character.
Right. So now remember, this is the last table. The restaurant is practically empty. There's just one waiter left. He's very old, half-blind, and deaf. And he's down there at the other end of the restaurant setting up the tables for dinner.
It really does seem like we're alone, doesn't it?
I felt like we were alone in all that traffic on 61st Street. I didn't notice anybody else, did you?
No, I didn't. Well, I guess we should order.
There's no hurry. We've got all the time in the world. You're not supposed to look at your watch. You're supposed to look at me. Think of all the days I won't be able to see you. Hundreds of them.
Yeah.
That's a pretty locket. I never noticed it before.
Oh, it's my mom's. My dad gave it to her when they got married.
Does it open?
Yeah. Well, the picture's kind of fading, but that's my dad when he was in the Navy.
I see.
But you're not looking at it.
I didn't want to look at your locket, Carrie. I wanted you to come a little closer.
Oliver, I think maybe I want to stop this.
Why? What are you afraid of?
Don't be silly. I'm not afraid.
You are. I can see a little blue vein right there. I can see it pulsing. And you're pale. I can see little golden freckles.
Oh, I have a lot of freckles. I put stuff on so you don't notice.
Well, you shouldn't. They're lovely. Have you ever been to Paris?
No, I've never been to anything. I've just been in the United States.
Well, in the Jeu de Paume, that's a small gallery that's a part of the Louvre. There's a painting by Monet of a girl with a parasol, and she's standing on a little hillside. And you can tell from the light that the day is perfect, and you can tell from her expression that she's expecting something wonderful. Her happiness is so tangible. I've seen that painting a dozen times, and every time I see it, I think the same thing. This is the way life was supposed to be, whatever happened. Well, you remind me of that girl in that painting. So wide-eyed and expectant. I just wish that...
You wish that I was happy like the girl in the painting?
Yep, that's what I wish.
But that was just one moment. We don't know what happened. Maybe she waited and waited and it started to rain. Then maybe she had to walk down the hill alone.
Carrie, whatever happens, I really don't want you to have to walk down the hill alone. You hear me?
Oliver, you really are very sweet, but don't worry about me. I'm used to walking down hills alone.
Well, you shouldn't be. Oh, look, he's gone.
Who's gone?
The waiter, he went into the kitchen. Quick now, kiss me.
Oliver, you're very good at this.
Okay, again, it's like learning a new word. You've got to use it 3 times, then it's yours.
I guess we should order now.
I don't feel hungry.
Neither do I. Well, we should at least leave the waiter $5 because we messed up the table.
All right. Would you be willing to buy a suitcase now?
No, I guess I wouldn't. But Oliver,
Yes?
I would really and truly love to have lunch again.
Carrie, you're 12 years old and I don't want you to turn 13.
What was that for?
The hell of it. Okay, forget about the suitcases. We're going swimming.
At this hour?
Sure, don't you ever do anything spontaneously?
Yeah, but I don't have a bathing suit. Oh, of course I have a bathing suit.
I'll get mine.
It's getting kind of dark out there.
There are lights all the way down to the dock. There's a switch there, right by the curtain.
Those got a rig to play all over the house.
There are towels down there. I was expecting one bell, not the Philharmonic. With him? You can't swim, you'll drown.
You think I can't swim because you've never seen me swim. I was a lifeguard for 2 summers at Revere Beach.
Leo, will you get that, please? Well, if it's Nora, what'll I tell her? Tell her the truth. That you've gone swimming? I'd be careful. Nora's a very confused woman now. Now's your opportunity, Leo. Tell her what's in your heart. This is a recording.
Harry? Harry? Direct? Anybody? Darling, it's all right. There's nobody here.
I just want to make sure. I absolutely do not want to run into Oliver.
Nora, why are we creeping in here like commandos? You live here. You're not going to get arrested for breaking and entering.
Peter, I don't want to run into Oliver.
Well, why not? He's not going to bite.
You don't get it. I told Oliver the truth about us. And worse, I told him the truth about him. I broke something. Look, maybe I don't want to repair it, but I'd like you to feel that you understand, that you're here.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm right here.
I know. I'm just nervous. Where do you suppose they've gone? They haven't got a car.
Come on, get your things.
Do you know what really burns me up?
Me?
Oliver's going to think I left because I'm jealous.
No. He did not expect you to believe Carrie's wild story.
I think he did. He was going along with it.
Nora, you met her. You know what she's like. She's not having an affair with anybody. She's a child. She's an innocent. I shouldn't have married her. I should have adopted her. Now, would you please get some things and let's go? Oh, and whatever you do, don't forget your passport.
My passport? Peter, I thought you made a reservation at the Hampstead.
For tonight, yes. But darling, you didn't think we were going to stay there. Nora, we said we were going away together. The Hampstead is not away. That's 2 miles from here.
I know, but we need a little bit more time to think. We don't really want to be rash.
Speak for yourself. I want to be very, very rash. All the men in my family get conservative early. Any minute now, I'm going to turn into my father, and you can save me. Come on, listen. I'll make love to you all the way to Venezuela.
Venezuela?
Yeah, we're going to Bunny's place.
Bunny? Who's Bunny?
Bunny Richards! He has this marvelous place in Venezuela. Listen, if I ask Binks Ryan, I'm sure he'll lend us his jet.
Gee, Peter, don't you know any ordinary people? Any poor people?
Poor people with their own jet? No.
You're crazy.
I am crazy about you. Say something, Nora, please. Just introduce us.
I'm Oliver.
Oh, fine.
Wasn't that moonlight something?
Oh, the moon, the water, everything.
How's your foot, okay?
Oh, it was just a broken clamshell. It's nothing. The salt water's a natural disinfectant.
Yes, Doctor.
It must have been kind of tough for you carrying me up all those stairs. Your heart's pounding.
I noticed. What makes you think it was the stairs?
Oliver. Oh, Oliver. You know something? I've been skinny for 2 years, and this is the first time I've gotten any use out of it.
Really? Gee, that's hard to believe.
Honestly.
Are you drunk, or are you stoned, or what?
Please, if you'll just speak one at a time, I'll be glad to answer all questions. Now, who was first?
I'd like to know why you're making this elaborate pretense that Peter and I are not here.
Oh, but we knew you were here. You just kind of took us by surprise.
Yeah, oh, Peter, you wouldn't believe how special it is to swim when there's just a slice of moon like tonight. Well, out on the dock, the water looks so cold and hard, like a great big pan of fudge. But when you dive in, it's so soft and warm.
You're not really going to give me a disquisition on the glories of moonlight bathing.
Oh, you're irritated with me. Well, that's a step. You haven't noticed me in
All right,
months.
Carrie, would you just please try to make sense?
Don't be upset, Peter. These things happen. They're like thunderstorms in April, sudden and unexpected, but they're not dangerous and they're over before you know it.
There are no thunder showers, and it's not April. Now, what the hell are you talking about?
Oliver, did I say that wrong?
No. I think your husband just chooses not to understand.
And you, who will not go swimming in the middle of the day when the sun is shining, can now find the strength and the time when if I ever ask you...
Please, before this breaks down into a series of petty squabbles, let me explain my plan.
Your plan?
No, that's all right. All right. You got a plan? You want to be adult? All right, shoot, fella.
Fella? Oh, my God.
That's okay, Nora. Now, what we have here is a little problem in logistics. Carrie and I want to be together. Nora and Mr. Sachs. And why don't I say Peter, since we're all getting so cozy? Nora and Peter want to be together, and the only thing that's keeping us all apart and unhappy is the lack of a coherent idea. So, Peter, let me get straight to the point. How do you like this house?
That's the point? What the hell difference does it make if I like the house?
Well, I think it's important that you like it. Nora, why don't you show him around? The kitchen is small, but there is a dishwasher. And be sure and show him the little porch off the master bedroom. It's really very charming. It gets the morning sun. I've got to call my secretary now.
What is he talking about?
I've no idea what he's talking about.
Hello, Helen. Did I get you just dashing out the door? Good. Look, here's what I want you to do. I want you to try to get me 2 seats on the 8 p.m. flight to Paris tomorrow night. Yeah, and cable to Maurice. I want a reservation for that old suite that looks out over the Tuileries. Yeah, the one with the old chandeliers and lots of large, hunky sofas. That's right, early Vanderbilt. Okay, bless you. You don't want to see the rest of the house? Well, I can understand that. With Nora here beside you, the wilderness were paradise now.
You're waiting for me to ask you what this means.
I'm going to have to mail these back to Doubleday. Well, they're going to scream blue murder, but what the hell, let them.
Well, Nora, if you will not ask, I will. What in the hell are you rambling on about?
Rambling? I thought I was being very direct. Carrie and I are going to Paris for the month of July. I'd like to take the first week in August, but I don't know if that'll be possible.
Carrie's going to Paris?
You two are going to Paris.
Isn't that something? Oliver couldn't believe that I'd never been to Paris, that I'd never seen the Louvre.
And you've never had dinner at the Grand Four. If we bribe the waiter, he'll give us the table where Colette used to sit.
And we'll never have to order French fried potatoes. They'll just come that way.
listen, I'm getting to that. Now, the rent is paid here through Labor Day, and Nora's always liked it here, so that's why I keep asking you, Peter, do you like it?
What? No, are you seriously suggesting that I move in here while you take
Sure.
my wife out of the country?
Yes.
Are you actually, literally planning on going someplace with this character? My God, Carrie, you don't even know him!
The hell she doesn't. And you're a quick change artist. We're all set to go out the door to Bunny and Binksy, and you're checking references. And is that your main concern? Does she know him?
No, I think it's a fair question. Aren't you a little concerned? A little...
No, I'm not a little concerned. I'm not at all concerned.
Nora, don't be like that. Be Nora.
What's
Now, just...
Nora?
Nora is very marvelous, and she's grown up, and she's not grown up.
I think it's working.
I think so too. Oliver, you're a genius.
I know.
I should change. Where can I go?
In the bathroom?
No, I don't want to be where I can hear him talking. I'll just slip in here. Don't look. I'm a quick dresser.
Carrie,
I'm listening.
you know, this is pretty unusual behavior for a professional marriage counselor.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
You suppose. I assure you this will be a landmark case.
Well, you know what they say. Desperate remedies require desperate...
No, you've got it backwards. It's desperate diseases require desperate remedies.
Well, that's me. I get everything backwards.
Not everything. You know, Carrie, something's happened. I'm not sure I've got the stomach to go through with this.
But please, you have to. We have our 2 marriages to consider.
Yeah, but we've got something else to consider too, though, don't we?
What?
You and me.
I don't know what's with me. I feel funny. I can't swallow. I really feel as if I was waking up in the recovery room, and I know they were supposed to do something, and I can't remember if it was serious.
Well, what if it is serious?
Yeah. What will the robin do then, poor thing?
That's what I'm asking.
Oliver, you gotta believe me, I can't think at all. I've only known you for a couple of hours. I've known Peter for 3 years. You've got to handle this.
All right. I will. I'll handle it.
You're calling Leo up here. We don't want Leo up here.
All right, we do. We've got to settle all the details.
What have you got on?
It's Melinda's dress. Do you like it?
Who is Melinda?
Who's Melinda? Who the hell cares about Melinda?
I care deeply.
Leo Simpson, this is my husband, Peter.
You and Carrie had dinner together, so I suppose you know something of our situation.
Yes, I plied her with fine wine. I got most of the story. I found it enthralling.
Well, there are 1 or 2 little gaps here and there, but we're filling them in.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm actually glad you called me. I have the solution.
Oh, Leo, really?
Oh, no, wait. I want to hear Leo's ideas. Sometimes an outsider can be more objective.
Sure, I can put this thing in some historical perspective. Now, just listen a minute, all right? 20 years ago, the solution would have been simple. Carrie returned to Peter. Nora would remain with Oliver. Convention would have demanded it. 10 years ago, we would have just switched partners. Wife swapping. Convention would have demanded it. Now, we have moved into the 80s. What we need is a new way to solve this old problem. That's why I suggest the lottery.
A what?
Lottery! It rhymes with pottery. Put your names in the bowl. Who you pick is who you get. Add a little spice. I'll put my name in too.
You mean I would wind up with you?
That's a flaw in your character, you know? For every solution, you have a problem.
Now, could we please get down to serious business?
Well, Nora, I always make it a point to leave parties before the games begin, so I'm going. Are you coming with me?
With you and your wife, or are you leaving her behind?
You see, we do have a problem of logistics.
And that's why I felt we had to have Leo here with us. I mean, after all, Peter... No, thank you. If we're going to sublet this house to you, we really have to have Leo's permission. This would be different. Nora would still be here. No monies would be exchanged. But I think we owe it to Leo to ask him if he's got any questions, any stipulations.
I certainly do. First of all, Sax, are you any good with plants?
Nora, really?
No
truly,
use
I
appealing to
cannot-
her. She took care of them the first summer. It was a disaster. She overwatered them. That's what your amateur does. My rabbit fern turned yellow. My Gracina got root rot. By Labor Day, I had 7 very sick plants on my hands.
Leo, you really think this is the time to discuss your lousy, rotten plants?
I am shocked. You have been living a lie. You helped me carry my grape ivy all the way to the nursery to be repotted.
You should be repotted.
By the way, Mrs. DeBrecht, Peter likes the same thing for breakfast every day. All bran mixed with Dutch apple yogurt. Well, he'll take wild cherry if he has to, but he prefers Dutch apple.
While we're on the subject of breakfast, Peter, I really wouldn't talk to Nora before or even during breakfast.
But Oliver, stop this. Now stop it now. I won't have it. How dare you think you can dispose of me as though I were chattel?
Chattel, I haven't heard that word in a long time. Nobody's disposing of you. Carrie and I are accommodating ourselves to an already existing relationship. If you're upset, it's because you're afraid we're going to have fun.
Do you think this is a responsible attitude?
No, I think it's totally irresponsible. That's what I like about it.
Oliver and I need something to regret.
What you need is to go home and lie down. You're way out of your depth. Come on, I'm taking you out of this. Nora, I will come back for you tomorrow. Come on.
Oh, Betty, you're a peach. First you're going to take your wife, then you're going to come back and get my wife? Are you sure that's enough? Listen, there's a girl down the road that's a knockout. Maybe you ought to check her out.
I don't have to take any more crap from you.
Oh, but you do.
No, you see, and you're a marriage counselor. What you don't seem to grasp is that your profession is already something of a joke. Every marriage counselor I ever met was an idiot, but then not in your class. You're gunning for the title.
Be that as it may, I work for a living. I perform service for which I get paid, and sometimes, just sometimes, I'm worth it. What about you, Mr. Moneybags? You collect paintings, you collect women. You've got a wonderful suntan, but you don't do anything.
On the other hand, when I wanted to get married, I was able to propose to my wife, which I understand was
Peter,
more
really?
than...
No.
Nora, you're way out of your depth. Here, come on, get your things. I'm taking you out of this.
Wait a minute. Who are you to tell him to take his hands off her? I'll tell him to take his hands off her. Leo, put your hands on her. And as for you, Chuck,
Would you like to step outside?
oh, that's a good idea. We can throw sand at each other.
Sand, hell!
No, please. Don't touch him. Oh. I'm sorry, Peter. Are you all right? Did you break anything?
No, I didn't break anything. I never break anything. I lead a charmed life because I'm so rich. Even surprised I fell down. The laws of gravity don't apply to me.
What are you talking about?
The privileges of the very rich. You say I don't do anything. You know something? You're absolutely right. Sure, you keep case records. Perhaps you'd be interested to know what it's like to inherit $9 million when you're 21 and haven't even graduated from college. It's a bitch. But just for the record, it's very difficult to do something if you don't need the money. Very, very difficult. It takes a lot of character, and I don't have a lot of character.
Oh, but Peter, you do have character.
No, I have money, and I've always been good looking, and that's why you never noticed. I don't mean to be getting wistful about this. There is something to be said for having money. You get rejected by a higher class of people.
You know, Sax, you're going to be harder to deal with if you turn out to be an actual human being.
You don't have to deal with him.
Look, we're all in a big fat mess that you stirred up. Somebody's got to deal with it.
All right, I'll deal with it. So everybody, and this means Oliver, out of my house this minute.
Your house?
You may own the house, Leo, but I have leased it for the summer. That's right, Oliver, the lease is in my name. It's another one of the things you're too busy to do. Now pack your suitcase. I'll leave it for you on the deck. You can pick it up any old time. Now, I've already lost my manners. I don't want to lose my temper, so would you all please be good enough to go? This party is over.
Well, next party begins instantaneously 1 floor below. All of those also wish to say bon voyage to our departing couple, Oliver and Carrie. Join me for a farewell toast. Have a bottle of champagne. Have a large bag of Fritos. First one down gets to swing in the hammock.
Damn you, Leo. You never know when to stop. You never know when enough is enough. You gotta be funny no matter what's falling apart.
I'm sorry, Nora. I was just trying to help.
I don't care what
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go quietly all by myself, but I'm not gonna go until you say I'm forgiven.
you are not forgiven.
Nora, haven't we always been buddies? Who else would go with you to the car wash because you're afraid to drive through the water by yourself? Who gets up early on Sunday mornings, gets your times before they're all gone?
You do.
Who takes your library books back to the public library?
All right, Leo.
So forgive me, prove it.
How?
Dance with me.
Here now?
It's my mother's favorite song. I owe it to her to come on. Do it for the Gipper. Come on. You get to hug me. You know you love to hug me.
You're hopeless. Hopeless.
I'm not much of a dancer either.
Carrie, this isn't supposed to be a spectator sport. You dance a lot. Carrie's silent. I can't believe it.
Should we change partners?
Shall we?
No, thank you. I think I'll stand this one out.
What's the matter? Are you afraid Peter will be jealous?
No,
Are you afraid Carrie will be jealous?
don't be ridiculous.
Are you afraid of me?
You flatter yourself.
All the time. Look, I'm not going to dance with Peter. So you'll just have to tag along.
Peter, I think we should go home now.
For good?
Or whatever.
All right. Carrie, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Well, I was just waiting for him to lift one finger to stop me, and I'm counting that as one finger. If you notice, I've been kind of quiet here for a while. I was just so curious. I was waiting to hear how it would all turn out, like it was happening to somebody else. Oliver, you made everything sound so real. I could actually see that girl flying to Paris. And I thought, yay, good for her. But it wouldn't be good for me. I'm not ready for that. That's graduate work. Besides, Peter needs me. He needs me to be dissatisfied with. Otherwise, he'd have nothing to yearn for. That's important to him, isn't it?
Possibly. I'd have to think about it. The hell with Peter. What do you need?
Well, I don't need anything. I feel like I finally had my coming out party. I think I'm going to like it out. Oliver, thank you. We got what we ordered.
Yes, we got what we ordered. I do that a lot. I order things without asking the price. And then I'm surprised to see how much they cost.
It's inflation, Oliver. We're all paying more.
Goodbye, Mrs. DeVerk. We had a most unusual time. Where's my bag? Oh, I left it in the booth.
The booth?
The sofa on the bench. Leo, I want to see just for fun.
Oh, yeah.
Says Leo.
Not a bad idea.
I'm going to keep this forever to remember you.
Remember, I'm going to be on your doorstep tomorrow. Pick up that dress.
You said you wanted more time together, and then when it looked like you were going to get it, you panicked, didn't you?
Something like that. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oliver, you really have been a wonderful counselor. You've been such a help to me. But I feel I'm going to have some further adjustments to make, so I was wondering if there was a therapist you could recommend.
Oh, sure, I can give you the names of a
Well,
couple.
actually, it would probably be best if I continued with you, but I suppose that would be out of the question. I mean, your wife wouldn't hear of it now that she's been made kind of insecure.
My dear, I would not have you shopping around for a therapist because of my insecurities. I assure you I'll manage just fine.
And what about you, Peter? Do you think I should get a new therapist?
I think all therapists is a waste of time, but suit yourself.
Well, then, can you fit me in next week?
I'll just check my book. What time of day did you have in mind?
Oh, any afternoon.
No, the afternoons are all taken, I'm afraid. How about the hour just before lunch?
12 to 1?
12 to 1.
Fine. What day?
Tuesday?
Fine. Good night.
Night.
Come on, Peter.
Well, finally.
Let's do this every Saturday night. Ask yourself here, what would you have done without me today?
Oh, Leo. The eggs I broke to make this omelet.
Leo, you're a total absolute idiot.
I but it's some news.
You know that all the slips in this bowl say Leo.
I have to try harder. I'm lonesome.
Our social director is still at work.
I hear.
I guess it's required.
Oliver, when you pretended to call your secretary earlier to make those plane reservations, what number did you call?
I don't understand.
Well, you didn't call your secretary, but you dialed some number. Did you call the weather?
Oh, you figured that out?
Sure. This whole business was just a big act to keep me here. You can't fool me.
Nora, I knew I could never fool you. Taxi, Doc!
Thank you. first part will soon be over. Now, everybody get ready for the interval, please. Electrician, the interval's coming. House lights on, please. That's it, thanks. We'll be starting again in 10 minutes.
House lights off.
Music, go. Scene 6, the Royal School of Ballet. The ballet master gets ready. Ah, he has made his gracious appearance. The pupils get ready. Later, the princess. And get ready for another scene change. Beautiful, my boys. Quite a ride, quite a ride.